My father has always been interested in jewelry business since he was a young boy. Today he's 90 years old. He had a very keen eye on jewelry. In 1958, he started his own business. He was very happy to find this particular location. And this is actually an original Jawi Peranakan shop house. We have our shop downstairs, and upstairs is where we used to live. So I used to go and help him even when I was a young kid. The original shop that we have in Pitt Street, or now called Jalan Masjid Kapitan Keling, there used to be at least hundreds of jewelry shops around this area, and this is where people come to buy jewelry. My father used to have like just 2 assistants, and after that he was having about almost 10 people working in the shop. We used to open about 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning until like 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. Sundays the shop will be closed. The free port used to help quite a bit. It's easier for people to do business here, especially bringing in raw material and gold, diamond, gemstones and things like that. Interestingly also in the 70s, because of the oil boom, from Penang we used to manufacture a lot of jewelries for the Middle East market. And we used to sell a lot of diamond jewelries and emeralds especially to the Middle East. So there's a few ways. One is we were exporting directly, and then there were also agents used to come here. So this is the center for jewelry. So in Malaysia, we buy jewelry for 2 reasons. One is adornment, and secondly is investment. Those days, we don't go and put the money in the bank. We buy gold and keep. So when they want to send their children to further studies or pilgrimage, like go to Hajj and all that, they bring back their gold and sell their gold. That's why we normally make a high percentage gold, like 22 karat gold or 916 gold. And those days they used to have different names like Mas Pound and Mas Kelantan, Mas Singapore, all these kind of things. But after a while we standardize and we specifically talk about the percentage of gold. Like when you say 916, that means 91.6% gold. In the 60s and the 70s, there used to be American GIs used to come to Penang for rest and relaxation during the Vietnam War, Korean War and all that, So they would like to come and buy some souvenirs and gifts for their wife or mistress or girlfriends, whoever it is. The foreigners who used to come here, so they like to buy color stones. I remember very well. They find that whatever gemstones they find here is quite unique that they don't find in their own countries. We used to sell all kinds of different color stones, sapphires, rubies, emeralds. These are one of the most popular ones in the beginning. And then they have all kinds of other stones like, smoky quartz, topaz and amethyst and all these type of other stones. There are a few different ways that we were sourcing these gemstones. One is we used to travel ourselves to different countries. We used to go to Sri Lanka, Thailand, India, but later part, even Belgium and all the other countries to source diamonds and different gemstones. And Penang is actually a free port. There used to be a lot of gem dealers used to come from different parts. When these people bring a lot of gemstones, we have the first crack of the goods. We look at the goods and we choose what we want. And usually what we do is we like to buy in bulk. And then we will do our own assortment to different qualities. And then we start designing and manufacturing into jewelries. We will have a couple of goldsmiths with us on a subcontract basis. So it's almost like a cottage industry where they and their family would stay. So we will go to their place and give them the order and tell them this is exactly what we want. And we give them the material, the gold, the gemstones and everything else and how we want it. And then they will just in turn manufacture specifically for us by hand. I would say almost all our craftsmen were Chinese. So what we were making was very much of like diamond jewelries and all that. A lot of the manufacturing techniques that is used also is almost like a mass production that we can use, like for example casting and things like that. So the Indian goldsmith, they only make handmade pieces. All of them were in Georgetown. It is just a walking distance, or sometimes we have to cycle to their place to deliver the goods and pick up the goods and things like that. Penang was a very safe place those days, you know, so you don't have to worry so much. In Penang, as tradition, it's very, very important that you must wear jewelry, especially in Georgetown when there's weddings. So it's not just the two people who are getting married buying jewelries, but the mother-in-law and the mother, and also everyone who are invited for the wedding. They all want to wear some nice jewelry. This is where they want to show their jewelries. Sometimes even if they don't have jewelry, they used to borrow or even rent the jewelry. The 60s and 70s, or even the early 80s, you have to wear jewelry that is glamorous. It's very important. So, like for example, when someone is wearing a earring, they want a very long earring that, this is what they call a anting-anting, or subang penyapu, or some other names that they have. You need to fill up everything. Like you must wear a earring, you must wear a necklace, you must wear a bracelet and a ring. If possible, a matching sets. The second thing is when the locals want to buy jewelry, they like to buy diamonds or intan. So intan is actually a rose-cut diamond. So it's actually a byproduct of diamond. So the price is not very expensive. For example, kerongsang to. So mostly kerongsang are made by intan. So Malaysia is one of the foremost places to buy intan jewelry those days. I found that the wholesale business was not very suitable for myself, because one thing is we need to give credit when we sell to others, and then the collection become increasingly difficult. When I joined the business, I was trying to do something differently. It was kind of unheard of for someone to go out there and do a lot of marketing and advertising in the industry. It was quite traditional in that sense, our industry. No one would go and, in a big way advertise in the newspaper or magazines or TV or even radio. So that's something that I started doing. So he was quite nervous because you have to spend a lot of money. So I had to convince him that it's not expenditure, it's actually we're investing in our brand. So, but when he saw the returns, when he saw the customers coming because of marketing, then later on he agreed that, what I was doing was correct. Penang was still a very good manufacturing base. So we still engage our original craftsmen who was there, making jewelries for us. Even though we were in Kuala Lumpur, we were still manufacturing in Georgetown some of the products. But of course, when we manufacture these things, we take that basic element of the traditional design, but we modernize it with a nicer touch and a better finishing and things like that. Now these craftsmen have become much bigger and they have their own factories and all that, so it's properly run factories. I think the future of jewelry industry in Georgetown will always be there. It's got history, it's got heritage, and people do still come to Georgetown to buy jewelries. So the original shop that we have in Pitt Street, or now called Jalan Masjid Kapitan Keling, so we have made it into a shop, and also we have a gallery, almost like a museum, where we have some of the old collection. This will always be there. This will be one of our most important places for Habib. We have our own identity. With Habib, we don't want to pretend to be something else. We are very proud to be Malaysian, and specifically very proud to be from Penang. I'm Mir Sadiq Habib. I'm a second generation jeweler of Habib Jewels, and I'm from Georgetown, Penang.